Welcome back. This is Prime News on HLN. All right, Michael Phelps. This guy's an American icon, a true hero, but his image took a major hit this weekend. Record-breaking swimmer was caught on camera smoking from a bong. Now, the picture was published in the British newspaper News of the World. It happened on Sunday. Apparently, this all went down at a college party in South Carolina about 3 months after the Olympics. And I know he's young, 23, likes to party, it seems, but he is a role model around the world. We want to know, what does this mean for his future, for his legacy, his Olympic career? Joining me now to talk about this, media strategist and reputation manager Mike Paul. Also with us, Dr. Stephen Ungerleider, sports psychologist. He also advises Olympic athletes and is a consultant to the International Olympic Committee. And we're taking your calls as well at 1-877-TEL-HLN. Stephen, all right, help us out here. You know Michael Phelps. You've spent some time with him. What is going on here? Doesn't he realize, who he is and what he represents?
Well, he's a terrific young man and clearly one of the great athletes of all time and clearly a fabulous swimmer. He's a very low-key guy and very humble, very self-effacing. I think we have to remember that he's a young man, a college kid who is trying to have a regular life, I think sometimes he doesn't use very good judgment, but he's a pretty decent young man.
He is. I mean, from what we know. But now you've got the picture of him smoking from the bong. He apologized, I believe, caught driving under the influence about 4 years ago. Is there someone in his circle, Stephen, who is telling him, wise up? I mean, it's that to whom much is given, much is expected. A whole world wants, I wouldn't say perfection from the guy, and I know that's unfair, but we want Michael Phelps to be a cut above in the pool and out.
Well, indeed, and this is not the old days. The paradigm has shifted. We really do expect our Olympians and especially superstars to conduct themselves in a professional way in the Olympic venue, but also during their real life time and when they're out of competition. We expect them to be a role model and show kids, next generation who are coming up, that there's a good way to live and clean living and ethical living and not break the rules.
Yeah. Well, we'll get Mike Paul in. Mike, hang tight. I just want to get Mike Phelps' apology out here. Here's his statement saying, "I engaged in behavior which was regrettable and demonstrated bad judgment. I'm 23 years old, and despite the successes I've had in the pool, I acted in a youthful and inappropriate way, not in a manner that people have come to expect from me. For this, I am sorry. I promise my fans and the public it will not happen again." All right, good start there. Mike, what else do you do? You're a reputation guy. What does he need to do to fix it?
Well, one of the things that he's going to still be asked about is he still hasn't said whether he smoked pot or not. He's saying that he's sorry, but I guess he's sorry that the photo was taken and that he got caught. Look, one of the things that the doctor just said a moment ago, I think is very important, that is really just not true, is that he's trying to live a normal life. What he gave that up when he first started training. One of the things he should have had is had counsel sit down with him. The type of counsel I'm talking about is the type of counsel that I give, which is dealing with his reputation, to say, you've signed a public contract. Once you decided to be an Olympic athlete, you're a public figure, you signed a public contract. There are clauses in your contract that talk about ethics, that talk about your behavior, and you don't have an opportunity to make these mistakes more than once.
Yeah.
He's already gotten a pass twice. He had a DWI about 4 years ago, and now he had a situation recently. Ironically, I ran into Mike down in Miami. I was down in Miami on vacation myself about 3 weeks ago, and he was spending a lot of time over at the Hotel Gansevoort, and he was doing nothing like this. He was having a lot of fun. He wasn't doing a lot of drinking. He was swimming in the pool. He actually had a race against Warren Sapp in the pool that's on YouTube right now. So he was having a lot of fun. Right. But when he says that he wants to be a normal kid, he needs to be reminded, you're a brand now. Yeah. You're beyond that. You're a professional athlete.
Stephen, Mike makes a great point there. He is so much more. He is beyond. He is it. He's arguably the greatest Olympic athlete ever. You advise Olympians. I mean, what is your advice to him, to pick up on Mike's point?
We've been working with the United States Olympic Committee and the IOC and the United States Anti-Doping Agency Travis Tigert, as you know, is the director and general counsel there, and we've been putting programs together to have elite athletes and gold medalists participate in mentorship programs, outreach, charity events, and Michael's been very much a part of this. He gives a lot of his time and money to outreach and youth at risk. He's always working in the community, so he is a very positive role model, and I think he, for the most part, does a good job in giving something back. Having said that, I think he needs to have a real good chat with a number of his folks and his family, and realize that he has a huge responsibility to step up here and
well, he's not going to be trusted right now.
Well, it's a wonderful responsibility. At least I mean, I know it comes with the pressure, but what a legacy he can leave, not only in the pool but out of it. Let's get a couple calls in, guys. See what the folks are saying out there. Mike in Maryland. Mike, go ahead.
Yes.
Your thoughts on this, Mike? Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment about this situation because I'm sure on an international level that he is on, he represents the country other than most national teams which represent cities or teams. And I think he should have been dealt with accordingly. And also, he kind of got the slap on the wrist on this one.
So you think you're going a little easy on him, Mike? That's kind of what you were saying, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, look, there's a business angle, there's a professionalism angle as well, there's a court of public opinion he has to deal with, but, you know, not everyone agrees with this. I mean, there are those that are in their 20s, for example, that think that this is nonsense, that think that it's average for someone to be smoking pot today. Well, guess what? He doesn't have that opportunity today.
Right.
He's a brand. He is an international figure. He was the biggest thing that come out of these games, and people are calling him the billion-dollar baby because it's not only what he's worth to himself over the lifetime of making money, but what he's worth to these corporations that are sponsoring him.
I know. He's 23. It sounds like he likes to have some fun, but he is not average. He is not average, and nor should he want to be. Let's get another call in. Patsy in Pennsylvania. Patsy, go ahead.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Patsy.
Happy Groundhog's Day.
Thank you, and you as well.
I'm 58 years old, and I've done things I wouldn't want published. He's young.
Yeah.
He's been so disciplined. Leave him alone.
You think we're too tough on him, Patsy?
I think that this was a private moment. He thought he was partying with trusted friends who sold him out to a rag. That's what those tabloids do. You
know, Patsy, you make a good point, and I want to hear both Stephen and Michael real quick, guys, and we got to run here. But there's some wisdom there in what Patsy's saying, is watch who you're partying with. I know there was one reported quote about that he was out of control from the time he got there. I'm not sure, you know, the validity of that, but I think it speaks to the fact of you went to a football game in South Carolina. You got to know who's around you. Michael, let you handle that first, then Stephen to wrap us up.
Well, look, one of the things you have to realize is that, you know, you were at a fork in the road. You had a moment there. Someone said, do you want to hit off of this bong? You had a choice either to say yes or no.
Yeah.
I don't think we're being too hard on him. He chose a path.
Yep.
He chose a path to be an Olympic athlete. And that comes with a lot of standards. And that comes with an opportunity to say yes or no. He got caught. I think he's a great guy, but the bottom line is this was wrong, and we have to see it that way.
Yeah, you know, and Stephen, I'm sorry we got to run here, but I know sponsors are going to be watching him, we're going to be watching him, and we want the best from a Michael Phelps. Guys, thanks.
Protected.